Hey everybody, welcome back. Tennessee Fats here, and I thought what I would do today is something a little different. Typically when we get into these videos where we're sitting in the office, which is where we are today, I'm unboxing stuff and I'm saying, hey, look at all the cool stuff that I bought. Well, I'm not buying a lot right now. And you know what I think I will do is I'll do a PSA at the end of this video where I'm going to talk to you guys about why I'm not buying books. Yeah, we'll do that later. That's not the point for this video. The point of this video is I actually wanted to walk through something new. I'm reading new comics. Now, I'm gonna let that sink in for a second because a lot of people who know me and who know the stuff that I talk about know that I'm not a big fan of new comics. The reason why I'm not a big fan of new comics, it's got nothing to do with the fact that I think the stories are crap. It's not nothing to do with the fact that I'm a purist and I'm going back and I'm saying, oh, well, the books in my day were so much better. Or you know, actually that's a pretty bad impression of Life with Louie's dad there. I was just doing the Wisconsin Snow Grizzly, but that's not what we're talking about here. No, it's not that. It's not that at all. I'm not a crazy old man that just sits around and just shakes my fist at young people. I do shake my fist at clouds often, but not young people or books. I just don't care about the characters anymore. I've read so many comics that I've reached a point where I've said, I'm now done going beyond this level of character development because I just can't continue to keep the interest in it. And that's got nothing to do with the quality of the work that's coming out. I'm going to be very clear with that. I'm sure that people are doing a fantastic job with these stories, and I'm sure the next generation of readers are really enjoying them, so keep up the good work, everybody. But to me, I've just reached a point where I've said, I've seen all the things done with my favorite characters to the point where I don't need to see them do anything else. For example, I wanted to see Superman get old and retire. I did see him get old and retire, and I saw him have kids, and I watched generations of kids. Literally, I read those last pages by Alex Ross, and I almost cried. Yes, I almost cried. It was a thing for me. That was a huge moment. I finally got to see the end story of Superman that I had always wanted to see. You know when a story comes to an end? That's what I wanted to see. Kraven's Last Hunt, greatest Spider-Man story ever told. Period. Try topping it. I honestly don't care. You can try to convince me otherwise and you're going to get this response from me. Don't care. Greatest story ever told, Kraven's Last Hunt. And guess what? That's in the 80s. So I've reached all the end of these things. I don't need to read anymore. And for those of you who are, great. But I am reading something new. And what piqued my attention and made me buy this, and this will be very clear, was I saw a post of somebody and they said Blue Flame. Now, Blue Flame, when I see that, and perhaps it's just my bad sarcastic sense of humor going, the first thing I'm thinking about is explosive farts. I don't know why that is, but that's the first thing that's coming to my mind. But the second thing that comes to my mind is public domain characters. Now, when I heard Blue Flame, and I got past the fart reference, and then I got to public domain characters, the next thing I thought was, yeah, Blue Flame is a public domain character from the 40s or something, isn't he? That's got to be it. That sounds about right. For some reason, my tapping into the collective consciousness is telling me that's right. Well, I Googled that poop, and let me tell you, I was right. Yeah. The Blue Flame is a public domain character from 1947. I believe he was in a book that wasn't even his book. It was something else titled Captain Something. Not Captain Easy. I don't remember. Doesn't matter. Anyways, he was in that. It was apparently a guy who could catch fire. Surprisingly enough, he could catch fire and he was named the Blue Flame. And he fought crime. But Vault Comics, which is not Marvel, by the way, for any of you who might be thinking that Vault Comics is Marvel, it's not. Vault Comics put out a title called Blue Flame. So I said, I'm going to check this out. Now, they are up to issue 3, and I will tell you this much. I am very glad I did. So for those of you at Vault that are doing this, damn good job. Damn good. So this is what issue 1 looks like for those of you who want to know. Okay? I think there was a variant to this as well. But because I'm reading it, I don't really care about variant covers. This is what issue 2 looks like. Okay? This one I like. I like all the, you know what, contrasting colors. This is good for old men like me because we go, ooh, look, contrasting colors and shiny things, and it draws our eyes to it. So that works really well. And this is issue 3. So really cool. And I'll tell you, what I like about this and what I really like that Vault is doing, and I'm not going to throw out any spoilers here, so because I'm encouraging you guys to go buy this and read this on your own. What I like about this is this book does an excellent job going from, and I don't know if they're doing this intentionally, but going from a throwback to the simplicity of almost a 1940s-esque superhero type comic. Because those of you who have read the old reprints of the 1940s books, you know they were pretty simple. Let's face facts, most of them were pretty crap. They were. But the stories, they carried on. And honestly, I'm surprised the comic industry today actually survived based on the crap that it was built on back then. But that's not the point. But it harkens back to that level of simplicity. But at the same time, it's mixing in this incredibly complex and deep and weird story about this guy who's a superhero and a crime fighter from Wisconsin. Life with Louie reference right there. Anyways, and his weird adventures that he's going through. Honestly, I was telling you right now, I'm at the end of issue 3. When I finished issue 1, I thought I knew what was going on. I got through issue 2, I had no damn idea what the hell was going on. I'm into issue 3 right now, and still I'm like, what the? Honestly, I put it down and I had to sit there for a minute and just go, what is happening here? So, in summary, if you like being confused by comics, this is the one for you. I do personally like being confused by comics, and I like being challenged when I'm reading something that actually pushed me beyond my comfort levels to go, what am I thinking about here? What is the actual story here? Is this actually some stupid just, oh, I'm Spider-Man, I'm going to bop you in the face? No, this is something much more complex. So for those of you who are looking for it, and really awesome art, check this one out. Everyone, that's my 2 cents on this one. Vault Comics, The Blue Flame, public domain character. For the love of God, get out there and buy it, because it is entirely worth it. Now let's talk about something else. Okay. It's time for a McFarlane PSA. And it's time to have a conversation about my opinion. I don't often talk about my opinions. You know, the fact that I say that actually makes me realize I probably do talk about my opinions a lot. That's not let's stop attacking me here for a second, shall we? Let's just stop that right now. No, what I'm going to talk to you about today is the actual comic industry. Through the wonderful world that we're living in right now, where everybody's sitting either at home and jobless because of cutbacks, because of all sorts of virus-related scares, and quite frankly, put economy shrinking, strange things have happened. Really strange things. I'm not going to get into what I do for a living or what made me think of all this stuff, but I'll tell you, one of the things I do regularly, I said do, is I think about money. And I think about industries, and I think about growth, and I think about retraction or rescission of industries. And I'll tell you, the comic industry and the collecting industry and what I'm going to call the speculating industry, and I am using that dirty word, speculating industry, during the last 2 years has gone insane. Literally nuts. Now, I've talked to a lot of people about this. I've talked to guys who work in comic shops. I've talked to people I know that are active in the banking and economics world. I've talked to all sorts of people about this sort of thing. And I got to tell you, here's the Tennessee Fats, Rob McFarlane, 2 cents on this one. And this is how it's going to go. So during everybody being at home and not able to go out, that thing that shall not be named, everybody had some form of money on their hands, if they did have money, and B, they had some form of time on their hands. Well, people with time and money are dangerous, typically because they can't go out and spend on the services that they would normally do in their day-to-day lives, but they can go out and spend money on goods. Well, what's happened during that time is all sorts of money that would be going from your disposable income pocket has been getting dumped into what I'm going to call the time-wasting hobbies. The time-wasting hobbies are things like the thing that I'm talking about right now: comic books, baseball cards, any other sports cards, Marvel cards. I think we've all watched this Marvel card explosion with people spending thousands of dollars on them and going, what the hell are you thinking? Literally, what the hell are you thinking? But that's just the industry, okay? The time-wasting hobby. I think people have dumped a lot of time and money into the time-wasting hobby. And something I've noticed lately is that people are going back to work. The economy is opening up a little bit. Not a lot. It hasn't been a full-blown gangbuster. Hey, let's run back to the office. Not that at all, no. But it's opening up a little bit. And I think what's going to happen with that is you're going to see the money that people have been dumping into goods that they've been putting in boxes and stacking in their basements, much to their spouse's chagrins, is going to go into other things like, traveling again, restaurants, and going out and living your life. All the things that we would normally do in our day-to-day lives, we're going to go back to that. When we go back to that, the interest in this time-wasting hobby, in my mind, is going to rescind. I don't believe the aggregate demand levels in the industry right now are real. I think they've been massively pushed up by an externality that's been pushed on the market. So the result of that is I think that this is going to slow down a little bit, if not come back. And I know this opinion is going to make me very unpopular with a lot of comic resellers, eBayers, people who are doing the auctions on Instagram, and there's no hard feelings here meant whatsoever. I've just decided to stop. I can't see any reason why I would spend money at the hyperinflated levels that we're at right now, specifically because I don't believe they're real. And that's a pretty harsh statement. I'll tell you, I was watching a comic auction because they had one book that I was interested in. This is a comic auction I bought from regularly. One book. This is an $800 book. $800. At best, $800. And the auctioneer took a book like this and said, here's the book. And all of us who were watching the auction were like, yep, that's the book we want. And then they took their price and stuck her on there. And it was $2,000. $2,000 for an $800 book. Now, you could sit here and play the speculation game as much as you want, but that doesn't mean I have to play the speculation game as much as I want, as much as you want. I don't have to. And quite frankly put, guess what? The book is still going to be there later. Now, I could be entirely wrong in this. I could be entirely wrong in this. But you know what? I believe in it strongly enough that I'm stopping. Okay? I'm buying the odd thing like this, which I'm reading, which I talked about earlier today. I'm going to pick up some of the odd cheaper books that are just filling in some of the runs that I'm enjoying reading. But I'm not going to do any more big investment books this year. I don't see it, guys. And I'm sorry for those of you who are actively out there and are trying to push this, but I'm seeing Instagram accounts closing down now with people saying, well, I only really got into this because I was here with my son to make some cash during COVID. And, well, I don't need to anymore. Okay, well, these are people who built up Instagram accounts with thousands of followers because they were super active and it was push, 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 and now they're just done. Well, obviously, somebody made a lot of money there. It wasn't me, the buyer, I can tell you that much. You look at other guys who are out there, who are the guys who are doing their online auctions and their sales, and they're showing up in their fancy clothes, and they're saying, oh, I just flew to this convention. Oh, and by the way, while I was there, I went into Disney World because I wanted to. And here's the great time I had. And I'm saying to myself, well, hold on, whoa. You're a reseller, which means you're getting a supply of comics from somebody, and then you're selling the comics to somebody. Somewhere in here, there's an increase in price, in theory, between your buy and your sell. If there's enough of an increase in there for your buy and your sell for you to be living this kind of lifestyle, something ain't right here. This industry does not sustain that. Unless you're somebody who bought them and then held them for 50 years and now you're selling them, well, that's great. But guess what? You'd be a little long in the tooth if that was the case. So that's really what I'm thinking on the comics industry, guys. I'm sorry for those of you who don't want to hear this, and I'm not a doomsayer. And trust me, I've been buying steadily up until early this month, in fact. But I finally, when I saw that auction and I saw that one book and I saw the other accounts closing down, and I'm really looking at it and I'm saying, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. You know, in Inhumans #5, which is the first appearance of, the Black Widow's younger sister, $5 book, and Black Widow movie comes out, very next morning, I'm already seeing it listed at $800. Now, that obviously was a really stupid number, because that's come back a lot. But just to see it there for $800, I'm like, really? Really? Maybe the market needs to go skinny for a while. I don't know, just my 2 cents. Everybody, if you stuck around for this long and you enjoyed my rant, well, thank you. People don't typically listen to me, so that's nice. For those of you who didn't stick around, well, you're not listening right now. Everybody have yourself a great day. We'll see you in the next one.